So today we're going to make fried chicken. And everyone likes fried chicken. It's not so hard to make fried chicken if you take your time. Now, you could make it right from scratch, but I don't make it right from scratch. I suggest that you get this one. It's called garu in Korean, but you'll see it, if you buy it here in Canada, you'll see frying mixing powder. You can get it at any Korean grocery store will have it, and actually even most of the Asian grocery stores now, the large Asian grocery stores have it. And this is the batter mixing, it's a powder you'll see, and you could make it from scratch, but it's not very expensive, and the quality of the mixture is quite good. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use the Korean frying mix. Now what we do is a little bit different than what some other people do. We like to coat the chicken a little bit with a bit of cornstarch. And if you do that, it just makes it a little lighter and crispier. So very first thing I'm going to do is coat the entire chicken with cornstarch. You don't need a lot of cornstarch, just a bit, just to cover them. And then I'm going to use my fingers to do this, but then I'll have to wash my hands when I'm done. So just coat them a little bit, not too much, and then throw them over one by one. And one little trick is to try to, if you can, try to just use one hand to do this. And then you keep the other hand free if you have to add more. Cornstarch. I'll tell you a little bit about this chicken. You can use any chicken parts you want. You could go and you could buy all drumsticks, or you could get all chicken wings, and you can buy them in large packs, and just do that if that's what you like. But it's actually it's a lot tastier and it's way cheaper to use whole chickens. So what I like to do is I go to Costco and I buy 3 chickens. They sell the chickens in 3 packs. And so I'll use a couple of those chickens and I'll cut them up. Actually what we do, little secret, is nobody likes the breasts in fried chicken. Everyone likes the parts. So I cut the breasts off and I freeze them separate for other things. And then I use 2 full chickens, except for most of the breast. And that's how what we use for our fried chicken. It's really much less expensive than buying the chicken in parts. Yeah, and then if you buy the chickens in 3 from Costco, I chop the other one up as well while I'm doing it, and I save it for tteokbokkeum, which we like to make here. Maybe I'll make that dish and put a video up quite soon. Okay, so that's all done. One thing to remember with chicken, keep your hands clean. So I did that and I washed my hands. Every step, wash your hands, especially chicken. You never know with chicken. So now I'm going to take my garu, and this one, it's called garu, but this part, that's just a brand name. You get any brand, there's tons of different brands. You're just looking for frying powder. This one is 1 kilo, usually about maybe between $3 and $4 you're going to find it here in Canada. Okay, and then so we're going to, basically what we're doing with this powder is we're making a batter. So the idea is to get a nice batter. Now we probably do it a little bit looser than most people. Maybe even just a little bit looser than the instructions would tell you if you bought it. We find that if it's a little looser, it gets a little bit, like a little thinner, I guess what I mean by loose. If it's a little thinner, the chicken gets just a bit more crispy. So this is about the consistency we like. This is probably enough to do all of it. Remember, you can always make more if you run out. And you can use this. This is excellent for chicken, but it's also good for. In fact, my bag here says shrimp you can fry in it. We fry vegetables. Sometime in the summer when we have leftover pumpkins, we'll even chop up pumpkins and fry it in here. You can fry anything. There's an old saying, you could fry a shoe and the sole of a shoe and it would taste good. Anything that's fried is good. but certainly chicken is the standard. Okay, so now next step is just a little bit at a time. You don't have to do it too much at a time, but a little bit at a time. You add the chicken to the frying mix. Okay, so now we're ready to fry. So I'll talk to you the first thing I want to talk to you just a little bit about is the oil. So we use canola oil. Canola oil is really good because it has a very, very high burn temperature. The most important thing when you're deep frying anything is not to burn your oil. Once your oil burnt, the quality of your food the taste goes down, and it's not as healthy for you. So today I'm using fresh oils, brand new oil. You don't always have to use brand new oil. You can use it 3 or 4 times. The key is that you gotta watch the color. So it should stay, it could get a little bit browner than this, but if it's the moment it turns red, it's finished. You can't use red oil that's become trans fat. And so today we use brand new oil. So you need about a quart of oil is what you're going to use. And we can start our next steps. Now, one thing I'm just going to do is preheat the oven to 175. So depending on how big the pieces are, they'll take from between 10 to 15 minutes to cook. These ones are starting to come along. There's different ways of doing it. You can kind of try to break them apart a little bit as you go, but just be gentle with it because you don't want to rip them. They'll come apart when they're ready. So these ones are fine. We'll just keep them going. Probably another 6 minutes left on them. Okay, they're all ready. So that's the end of the chickens. One thing I recommend is to give the chicken that's coming out, give it its own space so that the oil can come off. The others, as they've been on for a while, you can stack them a little bit. But make sure the new ones get their own space. We'll turn this off. Watch your covers, they often drip oil all over the place. Oh yeah, they look good. They're crispy. Quite crispy actually, they're really nice these ones come out. And I can't emphasize, make sure chicken's cooked, right? Make sure it's cooked through. I know that these are cooked, but if you don't know, make sure you check. I don't want anybody having raw chicken. That one's stuck together, but we can pull it apart. Let it cool for just a few minutes, and then it'll be easier to pull it apart. Okay, so that's that. And next is the French fries, fried potatoes. What we like to do is we like to have half with this. We make our own. You'll have to come back for another lesson on how to make your own Korean. It's called yangnyeom sauce. I don't know what the English, but that's a new English word, yangnyeom sauce. And it's basically a bit spicy and sweet, sort of a spicy sweet sauce that we put on. And this is really delicious. If you go to the Korean restaurants, usually that's how they serve it. So we just have to come back to learn how to make that. We got it all made. We make about 8 or 6-8 jars at a time when we make this one. Now, if you don't have yangnyeom sauce, there's you could use the Frank's Hot sauce has a buffalo chicken wing sauce. That's really quite good. You can buy that from the store and just use it. You could, I suppose, put barbecue sauce. If you had a sweet barbecue sauce that you could put on, that would be good. If you had like a sweet and sour, one of those kind of Thai sweet and sour sauces, that could be, you could use that as well. So whatever sauce you like, you can put on. But as I say, you can come back and learn how to make yang yum sauce. So now we have 2 plates. We have this one we're going to put the yang yum sauce on. This one we're just going to serve plain. And these will be our leftovers. Probably a few leftovers here. There's just a lot of chicken. We like to have leftovers because they freeze really well. If you freeze these today, as soon as they're cool, if you freeze them, you can throw them back in the oven. And after they're frozen, and you can have a nice quick, the kids can have a quick meal. You can combine it with some pizza or whatever you like, right? And it makes it nice. Now this part of the job is putting the sauce job. I don't know if I'm doing a good job here. I'm doing an okay job. This is usually my wife does this job. So we're all set for movie night. We have yang yum chicken and regular fried chicken and salad and French fries and some Cokes and some garnishes. So we're all set.